So today is a workshop called Explorament, and it's all about using different design practices to tackle this really complex area of emerging technologies like synthetic biology. In synthetic biology, a lot of the narrative is around innovations for solution. Sometimes when we only think from a technological perspective, we don't think about the nuances and the ins and outs and the way that these technologies interact in people's daily lives, or how it affects everyday practices.
Put enzymes inside of them, and you can control like the substrate for the enzyme can get in, but the things that damage the enzymes doesn't.
It's not the first emerging technology to promise better and talk about revolutionizing or transforming industries or bringing a better world or a bioeconomy. Those have all been done in the past with different types of innovations, and they've all had lots of flaws and things that we haven't thought about and planned for. And so speculative design is really helpful for us to think about that and start to explore lots of different possible futures with an emerging technology like synthetic biology. In the second workshop, I really saw people getting much more emotionally and personally invested. I think the fact that we had Elder Karleen Green present, and she just set up such a fantastic yarning space.
So I said to him, come on, I said, let's get a campfire, I'll take you around. This is our lounge room, that cave's our lounge room, and this is the kitchen. He was going, oh wow.
What about your kind of vision for a more sustainable Australian future?
The main thing, like what I'd like is, with the mapping and that, is to show it like how we done it in the old days and how it's still practiced up in the territory, especially that top end, and what the new science is today.
The theme we wanted to focus on in this group was Nagoya Protocol, which is thinking about access and equity when it comes to biotechnology. Australia is not currently Nagoya compliant, but one of the things the Centre wants to do is have a legacy where we lead the way in appropriate Nagoya compliance.
And they do their water, put it in their pandanus.
So this is the final workshop of Explorament, and this is where we have taken the last two workshops' content, all the ideas that have been written on sticky notes that have now been sorted into separate categories and ideas. Instead of jumping into the Nagoya stuff and the frameworks, we slowed right down. We engaged with two Indigenous cultural educators and artists who we were able to listen to and share stories with and ask questions. And in that way, we ended up actually deciding to create a wayfinding map for thinking about how to embark on these sorts of collaborations for the future and for really considering the cultural landscape that this work will be taking part on. We will be led by artist Darren Charlwood to create these maps.
You can be, the starting body here, all right, with all the know-how, okay? So you get resources from, maybe some government bodies. Okay, they go to you, and then like through those resources, you work through a university. Okay, maybe through their university you can come across a community group, but also through maybe museums. You can create a mind map of the way that you navigate a path like that.
Each participant will be making their own map to map out the journey that they might undertake or feel comfortable with from the lens of their research and how they might want to engage with an Indigenous practitioner or researcher.
Yes, so the goal is ethical synthetic biology with all the benefits flowing off in all directions to everybody. And this is the ARC Centre of Excellence, the green, and this is some of the pathways it can take towards the ethical practice.
These are turtles and they're pregnant. Which is the teal in the middle, and they're going to like a nesting site, trying to think about how symbio interventions, how they actually really intimately affect individual animals' lives, individual insects' lives.
And this is the Sydney golden wattle. And the Sydney golden wattle, that used to be separated with the two different seeds. And what they do is separate the seeds and make them into a high energy drink.
And I felt that Aboriginal culture is so vast and so huge as I walk around here that I just feel like I don't see them as separate anymore.
You need to flow down this river, and you have to go through all these councils of peoples, land councils, through like environmental groups to get everyone on board and actually have consensus.